All right, I guess without further ado, let's get the actual run started. So you'll start your timer as soon as you click new game. Kind of standard RPG. We're not gonna have a timer for this because we'll try to explain some stuff as we go. Game starts off with a nice little minute and a half-ish cutscene. I wish you could fast forward. That'd be nice. Well, one thing about doing a glitched run versus a no major glitches run is that the beginning of the game is very similar, other than the fact that you might pick up a few different items in no major glitches that we're probably going to completely ignore in glitched. I guess we could talk about mashing. There is a debate currently going on whether or not we're just going to allow turbo, because it was recently discovered that if you can mash fast enough, you can actually save time in the game. But it's kind of painful to achieve, so there's an argument for turbo going on right now. But you don't have to mash at all. You can hold any of the... You can hold either accept or cancel, and the dialogue will scroll automatically. So you don't have to mash. You can. But you also, when you read this, might be able to use turbo, so I would just check the rules out. So the game starts you off in white space. All you have to do is talk to the three items on this blanket and the cat. The order I prefer to do it in, and most people do it in, is we go right and up to the book. Open it, cancel, talk to the tissue, talk to the laptop, start mashing cancel. I hold here, and then I run. Oh, I run and talk to the cat here, because when you talk to the cat, I didn't get it. Sometimes you can move down. Pick up the knife. And the way that works is you'll talk to, all you have to do is talk to these three items, and then the cat last, and the knife will always be down here. The knife drops depending on the spots you talk to. So we're going to leave white space. And you need the knife. That's the requirement to go through the door here. Note that I'm not going to be mashing. Only when only when like dialogues are going to come up, maybe. I'm not trying to actually speedrun, so I'm going to take it as casually as I can. Well, we start out with a short little cutscene. And then as soon as Aubrey walks back up, you're going to be able to move soon. Yeah, casually fast. And then we're going to run right over, grab this watermelon, and then talk to Aubrey. Because all she's going to do is ask you to grab that item anyway, so we grab it before we even talk to her, because it's a little faster. Now, for this dialogue, at the end of it, we're going to have to talk to Hero immediately after it. And you're going to want to hold up when Aubrey looks up right now. And then you'll turn up and talk to Hero and just mash the accept. Go up the stairs, you get your money from the snakes, 50 clams. The beginning of this game is pretty on rails. There is RNG to it that can make or break the first segment. I wouldn't say it breaks anything, but it can make it... You can save some time with just a little bit of luck. And directionally, I don't really plan on talking out exactly where to go. I obviously will make note of what we're picking up. But the intentions here are that you've either played the game or at least you have an understanding of the game. This will be like a mix of, I don't know, maybe beginner-friendly strats versus some more advanced things. But there's not too much to talk about in that regard here. As soon as you run into the playground for the first time, you got a decent cutscene. It's about like a minute and a half-ish, 2 minutes. I think it's like a minute and a half. But you could just hold the button down. Ain't got to worry about it. And if we have turbo, you'll be able to just hold a button down and it'll mash at the speed required to take advantage of. So important in this cutscene though, as soon as Basil here puts his photo album down, it's gonna put you into the book to look at the pictures. As soon as it starts fading to black, I just mash. Just to get out. You don't want to look at the pictures. Again, you could be mashing or you could just be holding. It's up to you. So right as soon as that's over, we run to the right and run. You need to talk to Burley here. It doesn't really matter how you do it. I prefer the movement I did because it's a little easier. I prefer coming above and down things or like straight up and down at things. But you can't advance without doing this cutscene with Burley. So as soon as Burley walks towards you, you're gonna want to start mashing the accept button or getting ready to push the accept button. You don't have to mash at all. It's just a little faster. Like if you hold the button as opposed to mashing when you know there's gonna be an option to pick, you'll notice that you're hitting it quicker. But before you can continue, you have to talk to Burley, do this hide and seek side quest kind of thing. Everybody loves doing hide and seek. That was nobody loves it. So when you can move again, you'll come up and talk to the tether pole and then we'll have to play hide and seek. Now everybody follows this general pattern. You grab Kel, run down, grab Aubrey, grab Mikkel, browse, hero. Yeah, everybody would like to skip hide and seek. So you don't need the two people next to hero. Immediately go over to Charlene. And up to Bangs. And then Happy here in the jukebox. You don't have to grab them in this order. You just need to make sure you grab all of these people. But efficiency-wise, this seems to be like the most direct way to grab them. Because once you grab everybody, this little hole in the ground or mound will come up, and that's where Burley is. But that doesn't show up until you grab the people we grabbed first. So that's why we do it in the order we do it too, because the last required people we grab are directly in line with Burley. So just movement-wise makes a lot of sense to grab them in the order. Let me grab them. Now you don't have anything to do for quite some time. You're just holding out until the fight with boss starts. And you can even be holding X too, so you literally don't have to let go of this button for the next, like, 2 minutes. Because there's nothing to do in the boss fight, you're just gonna hold down the button. Although important to note, if turbo is allowed, it might be faster to be using turbo instead of just holding the button down. Because there's some speculation that there might not be like a capped mashing speed in the attack menu. So this fight, there's not much you can do to control it, but it is possible to either end this fight on the full second round or OMORI's third attack. OMORI will always attack first. But you either need some crits or everybody to roll high on every single attack. Like even if hero crit here, I don't even think it would be enough. So we call that a 3-turn, even though technically it's a 4-turn boss. We refer to it in how many turns it takes to get him into this body for Sam plays. So you can either do a 2-turn or a 3-turn. Although the 3-turn isn't really like a full 3-turn, whereas a 2-turn is a full 2-turn. Kind of just semantics. But the 2-turn's nice if it ends on hero's second attack. It saves about 8-ish seconds. If you're mashing, maybe a little more. Pretty soon we'll be able to run again. Alright, here we go. So next important thing, as we're running down to go towards Basil's house, you want to just go over to the mailbox and talk to it and then cancel out. Or in this case, we'll talk to it and buy 2 jacks. Because we need 2 jacks for the space boyfriend fight, so we could just buy it now. And if you don't talk to the mailbox but try to run past it, it actually stops you and gives you extra dialogue with Aubrey. And then I think you have to go up and talk to the mailbox anyway. So coming over, talking to the mailbox, buying your jacks, which is something you need, and then running down skips out a tiny bit of cutscene. So now you're just gonna run all the way down to Basil's house. We're gonna do the Sprout Mole fights. There isn't too much to the first 2 Sprout Mole fights either. We're just gonna hold accept, Z or X. And this fight can either end on Aubrey's first turn, Hero's first turn, and I think I've actually even seen it go past Hero before, but that would have to be really bad damage rolls. Best luck is it dying on Aubrey's turn. If it gets to Hero, it's like 4-ish seconds, and beyond, obviously more time. So nothing you can really do to control the fights, but there is RNG that can affect your time. Same deal with the Happy Sprout Mole. We're not going to do anything. We're just attacking. You're hoping for a single turn where it ends on Hero's attack. Or somebody else's. Like, if Aubrey were to crit, it could possibly end on her, maybe. This is probably going to not end on Hero. Yeah, it's super close. Kel rolled kind of low. Then before the dialogues show up after these Sprout Moles, I like to just hold cancel, but you want to hold down first before you hold cancel, because that way, if you are holding and then you hit a directional, then it kind of stops the auto scroll. So there's something different about this fight, the Happy Sprout Mole. You're gonna hold until you get to Kel's turn, and then actually make the Sprout Mole angry, and then just continue attacking. After you make it, because if you leave it sad, it takes a whole bunch of extra attacks. Now this way, it only takes OMORI's attack the next round, which after you make it angry, you can just keep holding it down. Even though it's going to go to annoy for Kel again, it's going to die on OMORI's turn, so don't worry about it. Everybody gets to level 2. That wasn't. There's no dialogue after, so you could just be holding down right away. All right, so the next thing we're going to do on the screen, there's actually a little skip. That's allowed. It's called Picnic Skip. So what you're going to do is you're going to trigger the cutscene here. You're going to run over to this box or cooler, get into the cutscene, and immediately hold cancel. And you'll notice the kids will warp off of the blanket. You're going to run down, and as soon as they stop moving, just continue to hold cancel. So you move, stop moving, hold cancel. Basil's going to run up instead of OMORI, and that'll allow you to skip the trigger of having to actually watch that whole cutscene. So it's really simple. Talk to the cooler, initiate the cutscene, immediately start holding cancel until you can move again. And then as you move down and get stuck, you can even wait. You don't have to you wait until the dialogue comes up and then hold circle. Basil should move up instead of OMORI, and you'll be able to continue forward. All right, so once you get down here, this is pretty easy. This problem, we're going to spend the first 4 turns defending, and it's a simple, all it is a simple alternating X right, X right, X right kind of thing. X right, X right, X right, right, X right, X right, right, X. So you're just going to guard with everybody. But it's just as easy as alternating X and right. My brain wants to do it faster than my mouth can say it. The next turn, so you're gonna defend again, but you won't have to menu over to right inside the skill menu, or over to guard in the skill menu. All you have to do is go to skill, double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap. And then we'll do it faster on the next turn, because we're gonna start the next 2 turns doing the exact same thing after this cutscene. You could just attack if you wanted to, but it's a little slower because you have to go through all of the attack animations. So just a demonstration. It's pretty easy just to alternate. I like to hold circle in these so I don't go right into mashing and accidentally mash through attacks, because you'll get a dialogue after every turn. But after this one, I do hit accept, because what you're hoping for is that the Sprout Mole here hits you to get you to 10 energy so you can do a release attack. So once you do get 10 energy, you can just go straight into an attack, because OMORI will go first. The release will end the fight. Just make sure that you're mashing the victory screen rewards, because in version 1.0.6, which is important that you pick this version, if you win a fight on using a follow-up skill, the victory screen will also be moving fast, like the text with the follow-up. It's part of the patch. It got patched out in 1.0.7. And you can trigger it pretty consistently in a lot of fights, so it's worth having. Also, if you're running 1.0.7, you can't do any of the other glitches, like the actual big glitches for the run, which are the most important parts. Because technically, the community decided that picnic skip and the fast text that we get for follow-up victories, and another glitch called the OMORI Succumb glitch, or which is called the Succumb glitch. But what it means is when OMORI takes mortal damage and survives the first time, where he doesn't succumb, if he gets healed on that same turn, it doesn't remove the flag for him not succumbing. It won't tell you he didn't succumb again, but he won't die if he takes mortal damage again. So the Succumb glitch, picnic skip, and the fast text on the follow-up are all considered minor glitches. But this is the glitched run, so like literally anything goes. So once the screen recenters and Basil's gone, you can run up to his house. We're gonna move right up and talk to Basil, mashing accept, because it's gonna ask you if you want to help him sort his photos. So when you do these photo sortings, you want to look for the Basil photo, because that's the only one that's gonna be on this front page. Then it doesn't really matter, because all of these are on the next page. But if you were to grab not the Basil crown first and actually put it in, you'd have to flip back and forth between the pages. So it's just a little more convenient to just grab the Basil crown picture first. So pretty soon, if you're familiar, you should be, it's gonna put us back into white space and you'll hear the heartbeat. Right on like the red eye, stressed out Basil picture, which is next. It'll phase. As soon as white space loads, you can open the menu and pick the stab option. And then you got yourself a little input break. Like I said at the beginning here, nothing extremely crazy. You're kind of just hoping for good luck in the boss fight, and then the angry and happy Sprout Moles. And then clean menuing in the sad Sprout Mole and ye old Sprout Mole will help you get a good time. People who mash can easily get a sub 22 minute go back to bedtime. Some people measure it on the stab here. Some people measure it when you go back to bed to come to headspace. I personally measure it at that point when we go back to bed to come to headspace. Because this whole stuff's pretty on rails with minimal RNG, so I don't really want to have to care. As soon as you hear that like staticky fade out, just start holding holding accept for the dialogue that's going to come. It's going to open up the name menu. As soon as that opens up, you just hit up left to OK. And then it's going to ask you if that's okay. So up left to okay, and then I just keep mashing because it's going to ask you if you're okay with naming Sunny Sunny. With the text skipping, naming him just S isn't super important anymore. So you can go right to skipping it, just leaving it Sunny. You're going to wake up, talk to the voicemail. Stomach will be hungry. And we're going to try and go downstairs, but it won't let you. You're going to want to mash. This is going to ask if you're going to go down the stairs, but it won't let you. We just go right back to bed. We'll wake up again. One thing I like to do, and it's not like this movement's extra complicated, but I like to make it as simplified and easy as possible. I like to move left until we're underneath the window, and then I go down. It just lines up with the stairs really nicely. Less zigzagging down or anything. And since it's you only kind of move in vectors of up, down, left, and right, it takes the same. Getting from point A to point B always takes the same amount of time as long as you're taking the same amount of steps. So we're walking down the stairs. Eventually we'll pick up our knife. There it is. And I like to keep holding down until the shadowy black hands on the outside start to pull away. Here's the real hand. And then eventually these shadow hands will kind of pull away. And I just stop walking at that point because the hand's going to get you regardless. It's not faster or slower to keep walking or stop. So I just stop moving. Don't have to worry about it. Once you're in the first something fight here, all you do is hold, attack, hold, accept, and just keep attacking. After the third attack, you get the first little dialogue, like the... Here you go. And then after the fifth attack, you're going to want to let go. So after this attack, you let go. I hold circle because it'll still advance the text, but it won't go right into attacking. You'll learn calm down. Then on this turn, you want to calm down. Use calm down. That skill isn't there until after the fifth turn. So now we're done that. That's it for the fight. We're going to continue into the kitchen. Talk to the refrigerator first. Grab the knife. Put it in the microwave. Watch chat freak out as the microwave sounds like a real microwave. Happens like clockwork. So one thing that I did there is once the microwave starts beeping, I hold down and I start mashing accept. Because then you'll immediately pull the plate out and put it on the counter behind you. And then you keep mashing until it asks if you actually want to eat the steak. If you're going to hold down the button for text, all you want to make sure is that if you want to hold down a direction button at the same time, that you do the direction button before you hold. And then you don't let go of the direction button. Because if you're mashing and then you hit the direction button, it'll actually stop the text. And you'll have to re-hit it. If you're mashing, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna be able to move the dialogue, but hold the button anyway, because it's gonna re-register your accept every single time. What's going on, Erythium? So after Omori or Sunny's done puking, you go to bed. He'll take you back. And I like to split there. But wherever you choose to split, that's really up to you. Whatever you think is the most beneficial to learning. This time in white space, it's a lot easier. All we have to do is talk to the laptop. You can move as soon as this shadow fades in. As soon as it fades in, you can move to the left, talk to the laptop, immediately start mashing cancel, hold down and cancel, and you'll get a little bit of a move before the map falls. So the map falls in the same exact place the knife falls. As soon as you grab the map, you can leave. You get to have more. This is actually a pretty short dialogue with the friends in this room for this time. Then you're gonna make your way back to the playground the exact same way you did the first time. Easy peasy. Get your allowance from the snake today. It's 200 clams. So right now we have like 280 clams? No, we have more than that. We have like 330 clams, I think. We could take a look. But you'll grab your first key heading back to the playground. 280. I don't know. I don't know where the 330 came from. Oh, you would have 330 if you didn't buy 2 jacks. That's what it is. But I prefer to buy 2 jacks. You can pick them up if you want, but I'm not gonna do that in this guide because I actually think it's faster to just buy them. But I'll at least show you where an extra jack is, because sometimes having a 3rd jack for Space Boyfriend makes that fight a little easier, but we don't have to worry about that just yet. So after the Mary cutscene, we're gonna run all the way back to Basil's house, but this time you don't have any fights, so it's only just a run all the way down kind of thing. Doing your best not to bonk on stuff. Bonking doesn't waste a lot of time, but if you bonk enough, it starts to add up. So I guess we could talk about like just movement on at least this screen. So when you come down, it's just one input to the left, but to go down the next path, you line yourself up with Mary, and you'll run straight down. Just a visual cue to help you do the movement a little easier. So as soon as I get in here, I hold down and then I hold the dialogue to scroll. Because as soon as this text is done, we just want to leave. And run all the way back up. We need to run through the vast forest now. But we actually have a different kind of routing for the vast forest. We used to run directly through it from the left. Because for some reason, you can trigger the first cutscene that happens when you enter the vast forest from either side, but for some reason, it's like almost a full second faster to do it on the left side. So we're going to go there to trigger the cutscene first, but instead of running all the way through, we're actually going to turn around. So we want to go to the left first to trigger the cutscene. Now, if you were new and concerned about having life jams, I'll show you where this life jam is, just because it's on this screen, but the fastest way to do this is to not run directly through to the left. The faster way is to actually go back to the right, which we're gonna do. I'm just gonna show you where the life jam that I like to grab is, if you're trying to be safer. Because in any percent you can grab 2 life jams still, and we'll talk about the safe way to do the junkyard and then the not safe way with the shopping. But if you were trying to just finish runs, it might not be a bad idea to continue through the forest all the way through the left here, kind of like the old route used to. Because if you're going to go in here for this life jam, you might as well just keep going left. But I'm just going to show you where it is for this take. This is a jack, so if you don't want to buy your jacks for whatever reason, you can pick up this jack. But the life gem here is right here. It's a life gem. We'll pick it up just for safety's sake, but we're gonna run back. So normally you wouldn't, if you're just doing the fastest way through the forest, you wouldn't pick up that life gem, or you wouldn't actually even come in here at all. You would immediately leave and run to the right. And you just want to keep going to the right, but stay low of these trees. Keep staying low. Keep holding right. Then on this screen, you'll get a dialogue. So to satisfy the requirements to move the story forward, you need 4 unique screens in the vast forest. So if you go to the left, trigger the cutscene, and then run to this key from the right, that'll be 4 screens on the bridge. If you don't get the cutscene on this screen, you didn't do something right. So now when you head back, you just want to be careful of enemies, dodging as much as you can. This rabbit in particular is the worst. Easy peasy. Then we're gonna go back up to Mary. A little bit of movement, or like just a little bit of a time save. Once you get to about here, you're gonna go over to the left just before the jungle gym and then move up, because it'll immediately start the dialogue with Mary. If you were to go straight up, like where the red footprints are, it'll make you walk over to Mary, and it's actually like a 1.5 seconds slower. So in this dialogue, Aubrey looks down. Once she turns back up to talk to you again, she's gonna ask if you're gonna be, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna wanna mash it, yes. This is one cutscene where you don't wanna hold no for, because for some reason holding no inputs, when it gives you the option of yes or no, will just auto cancel out and select no. Holding yes doesn't work the same way. It won't auto select yes for you. Oh. Gonna make our way to the other world. Once you get to the part where the hands are, you can just hold up and then hold your text scroll button. I usually hold it all the way up the ladder, because then I don't have to really pay attention. I'm gonna keep moving, but I'll keep scrolling at the same time too. So nothing too crazy going on here. We're just trying to get to the, moving from one dialogue to the next. You literally don't have to let go of your up and text scroll button until after this little dialogue. And you really don't even have to let go at any point either. But you're gonna change directions at some point. So your holding isn't gonna auto scroll the next text you get into. And the next text doesn't happen, you have to talk to the person to start the next part. So holding doesn't really matter. After this part fades out, which is after Hero's dialogue. So once it fades to black, I let go, but you're still gonna run straight up. I let go of the auto scroll. I still like holding up here. Nothing to do though. We're gonna make our way straight up to that top little like crescent moon home that was like first on the screen. Talk to this guy and I hold. I like holding circle or cancel. I don't know why. It just feels better to me. You can hold either one. Sometimes to me though, it feels like if you talk well with hitting accept and hold accept, the first text box doesn't start auto scrolling like instantaneously. So once he moves, you'll be able to move shortly after. Then you come up here and talk to Space Boyfriend from the bottom of the bed. So this is a longish cutscene and it's easy to zone out. You do have a dialogue. The space pirate that's about to come up here is going to ask you if you want to help, or will come up and ask you to help, and then Aubrey will ask what you think if you want to help out. You'll want to mash yes. but you don't have to worry about that until the second time Space Boyfriend does his like cough text, and you'll know it's his text because it's, if you're not even looking, it'll be the shaky dialogues. But before all that even happens, Kel's gonna try and leave. Aubrey's gonna stop him, and then when Aubrey walks back up to the bed, that's when you can start mashing accept. So Kel tries to leave. Aubrey's gonna stop him. They argue a bit, and then it'll be interrupted by Space Boyfriend's coughing. Aubrey will move up, and then you start mashing. And then you can hold again. The game doesn't let you say no, so even if you do by accident, you can eventually say yes. That unlocks our way into the junkyard. We get a key and a secret back entrance. Once you stop moving, hold your button to scroll the text, or start mashing. So anytime I'm holding, you could be mashing. But also, I'll keep reiterating, it is possible that by time this guide even actually helps anybody, that turbo will be allowed. So that's up to you if you want to use turbo or mash, or just hold the button. So we gotta watch out for this enemy. I like to go up here. See if we can get it to go away. But sometimes if you're up here, it can block you. But it seems like this path is the most consistently free, going up above the tower. When we go up into the junkyard, we have to mash X on that door to use our key. So we're going to be picking up a handful of items here to help us with Space Boyfriend and to prepare for something afterwards. The first thing you're going to want to do is run in, cut this cone. You can grab this rubber band. The one thing, there's 4 possible rubber bands you can grab in here. This is one of them, so we'll just grab it. That means we can skip a rubber band later, and I'll point out exactly which one we're skipping. But you also want to grab this gold watch. This is extremely important. Both items are really important, but if you happen to forget this for some reason, you can at least get 3 more rubber bands. So once you grab those, you come back out and go to the right. It's the only way you can go. You get on here, eventually you'll get stopped for a little cutscene with Kel. I would keep paying attention to where this cassette player is up here. It's going to kind of determine... We want to run up here. But where that cassette is, so if it's aggro to you and doesn't go back, you just want to move over here until it goes around the corner. Just be careful of where that is. Talk to this block. This is where they teach you how to tag. You'll tag to Aubrey to smash blocks. And then we'll smash blocks some more. On the last block, though, as soon as we click it, we're going to open the menu and tag hero, because you can use Aubrey's smash animation to tag the next character. You could also do with Aubrey's cutting as well. So when we swap to hero, so we can talk to the conveyor belts. Just a little bit of efficiency. So you run right over. If you want to keep a life jam, you need to grab this ramen. If you don't care about keeping life jams and you're YOLOing the run, you don't have to grab that ramen. You run all the way down, talk to this conveyor belt to change it, and you want to run just above it, run all the way to the left. If you're 1 step above it, you'll activate the life jam guy that's in that garage. But as long as you're on this path, you won't activate him. I'm gonna go all the way up to grab the key. Talk to the conveyor belt and leave. Now we go into the center conveyor belt area. Grab Aubrey's comet hammer and change the conveyor belt so we can leave. The next thing we're going to need to do is cut a cone at some point, so we're going to need to switch to OMORI. I usually just do that, like, really at any point. It doesn't matter as long as you do it before you get to the cone. Go up this ladder. In here, there is a life jam right here. Just be careful of enemies. It is important, so, like, You draw this enemy's aggro, you can unaggro it by moving back, but only, so now I'm not gonna, okay. So you can unaggro it there and pull it back, but if it's like any closer and you take too long and it starts following you, it'll actually trap you in there and you're kind of in trouble, and you'll have to kind of do some like razzle dazzle to get by it. Let's see if we can kind of try and figure that out. So it's following us, we can't do anything about that, but we can unaggro it. So it's chasing us. You could try and get by it, but it's pretty hard. We're gonna have to heal, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Oh, he missed. He didn't though. You don't want to get into fights with these things because they're actually really hard to run away from. Enemy dodging, at least in some of these areas, takes a little bit of practice. Just recognizing where they're positioned at currently, you'll kind of recognize what movement you need to do to avoid them. But you go up here and try to trigger the scene first. If you tag Kel first before the scene, it actually tags OMORI back in the front. So you're just kind of wasting a menu. But after you get control again here, you'll tag Kel and run up onto the platform to use his skill. So we need Hero again. We're gonna actually, since we grabbed the first rubber band where that gold watch is, this is also a rubber band. We're gonna skip it because there's two other rubber bands that we can get that are less involved to grab than that one. That item right here. This is a poetry book. You could grab it for Sweetheart, but you're not really gonna need it. Run straight up. Grab this popcorn, go right back down. If you're quick enough, that computer will never be in your way. We used to grab a sparkler and binoculars that were up at the top there, but we don't need them anymore. And if you go up there, you run the risk of this thing resetting and then almost being like, so if it was there when you were coming down, it would block you. Grabbing a donut for health. If you were picking up your jacks and you picked up that first one in the forest I showed you, you'd want to pick up this jack. I'm not going to pick it up just for safety's sake. If you wanted an extra life jam, there's one right here. We're grabbing it for safety's sake. So on this screen, we're gonna grab this donut here. And then as you're coming down, you're gonna line yourself up in front of these cars. So like right here. Run straight down until you stop. There's a rubber band. So now we have, where are we? We have 3 rubber bands. After the junkyard segment, we're gonna buy 13. All you want to make sure is that you have 2 jacks of some kind, whether you picked them up along the way or bought them, and 3 rubber bands by the time you leave the junkyard. So from where you pick this item up, if you hold directly to the right, you'll get stopped by something else. It's a hot dog, so just more healing. And then talk to the block of cheese as Hero. That's why I tagged Hero in earlier. So if you've made it through this point without running into any enemies and getting hit by anything, you've done pretty well. But if you do, I guess we'll talk about that in a second. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. But basically, there's no more enemies to dodge. We just gotta run it out. There's a little bit of dialogue and cutscene action before our first sub-boss. So this whole dialogue again, a little lengthy. Not like crazy lengthy, but at some point Rosa here will run away and then Kel will have 2 dialogues. But once Rosa runs away, that's when you can get ready to do your movements. Important to note, you can actually get in front of Rosa there. And if you do, just make sure you trigger her, but you're gonna have to move so that she can get in front of you. Because if you can't actually continue without chasing her. So you're gonna chase her down here, but before you go chase her on the pole, go up and grab these 2 items. This rain clouds for later. This ramen is for space boyfriend healing. So she goes down, but don't follow her because she hops across. And we're gonna skip Hero's Baking Pan. This item, if you really wanted it, it would up Hero's attack a little bit and give him snack time, but that skill isn't really useful. It wastes a lot of time, and by the time you were ever actually gonna use it, it's not gonna help you anyway. So we skip that altogether. Sorry, so at this point, you'll probably be Hero still. You're gonna wanna tag to Aubrey, but before you do, you wanna equip her hammer. And then tag to her. So if you made it through the whole junkyard without taking any damage, you can run straight down. But if you get hurt at all, you want to heal here. The first boss, or first sub-boss we're about to fight, does a set amount of damage every single time to us. And if we're not at full health, that character is probably going to die, and we don't want that. So run down to trigger the cutscene. Hold this button down until it pans back up to you. After every cutscene, once it pans back up and you're in the center, that's when you'll know to move again. And then once you run past the line, it'll trigger the boss fight. So this boss fight's actually pretty easy. First thing we're gonna do with Omori is use the air horn and then just hold attack. But it's important to know this download only attacks once every 4 turns. You don't want to be holding attack again, because if you're holding attack, Omori will go in and use another toy. So it's important that you wait, well, as soon as you see the fight, that you come back up and then hold down. Now at this point, you can use the follow-up attack. I suggest doing it with Omori just because it's a faster animation, and he does enough damage. Now you got a crit too. 2 crits, look at him. So you're just holding down attack. The download on the 3rd turn here, I said 4th, I think. The 3rd turn will do his explosion attack. It'll always do this amount of damage. So it'll never kill anybody. What is here? Oh, because we don't have the baking pan on them. Anyway, so it'll always do this much damage. They'll always all have this much health back. But hitting everybody gives you another attack. You're trying to save that follow-up for the turn where you know you're gonna kill it. So we'll look at its health. That was the 4th turn. It's gonna be pretty close. I don't think, so more likely than not, you're gonna go to a 6th turn without Hero's Baking Pan, which is a good trade-off, because it's just how getting the baking pan and learning snack time is slow. So the trade-off of not getting it and having this fight go a little slower is actually a net positive time save. So this thing's most likely going to die here. You're going to want to try and plan a follow-up on the turn where it dies. Sometimes it's unavoidable. Like, it might still die here. Okay, it didn't. It's most likely going to die right now. So you can get the fast text. Pretty straightforward. You spend the first 4 turns attacking using either Omori or Aubrey's follow-up. Aubrey's follow-up with Omori is strong, but it's a slow animation compared to Omori just doing a second attack. But if you don't get any crits, you're most likely, like we had 2 crits with Omori, you're most likely going to end the turn on like Aubrey or Hero's fight with 1 or fewer crits. On the way out, make sure you grab this granola bar. That's all the healing we're gonna grab for Space Boyfriend. We're gonna leave. One thing you wanna watch as you're running down is where the wormhole is. If it's not 1 space to the left, you're fine. If it's 1 space to your left as you're running down, you need to take a step to the right, or else the worm will run into you and you'll get into that fight. And it's pretty hard to run away from. So once you pass Snaily, you're in the cutscene. You can let go and start holding the text moving. Nothing to do here, just holding and getting through some text. You also don't have to pay attention almost at all until after the space pirates go away, Pluto jumps out of the hole. This cutscene's pretty lengthy. But you really don't have to even pay attention until like all of the kids are on Pluto as he flies away, like demonstrates the fast travel. It's like even right now, you don't really have to pay attention. Who the hell knows what's even going on? Pluto's talking about wanting to be free. Honestly, it's a vibe, but it's not super important to pay attention to. But a good indicator when you should probably snap back to it is the second time this music plays. He gets excited again. This is when you should start to pay attention a little bit. The kids will get ready for takeoff. Then as soon as this screen fades out, you can just start mashing. Your only options are to go to where he's going to take you. There's no other choices, so you can just mash right through it. Kel learns flex, not important at all for this run. But it happens no matter what. So as soon as you can move again, come over to the, I think it's actually tofu or something, and you eat here. Heal, and then you're gonna come up to this mailbox and we're gonna sell. Go down to ramen, we're gonna sell one of the ramens. All right, so I guess we should talk about it. So if you want to keep, at this point, we have 3 life jams. If you're doing the fast forest, you'll only at most have 2. One thing for sure that we're gonna sell is this gold watch, but if you're trying to be safe and keep life jams, you need to grab that extra ramen, which we're gonna sell because we grabbed it. It's kind of like a trade-off. You can either keep a ramen for extra healing during Space Boyfriend, or you can keep life jams. I think if you were gonna make a decision between the two and had both, you'd want to sell your ramen, but you just need to sell either a life jam or the extra ramen if you grabbed it. And if you're gonna go out of the way to grab the ramen, you should sell that because that's why you're grabbing it. Having 1 extra healing for Space Boyfriend isn't really gonna help you. So we're gonna sell 1 ramen, go up to the gold watch, sell that. You'll have $974, which is coincidentally the exact amount of money you need. But when you back out of here, if you're not hero, you need to switch to hero, because whenever he buys something at the mailboxes here, he gets a discount on all of the items. So what we want to buy is 1 sparkler for later, and then we're gonna buy as many rubber bands as we can buy. So important to note that you can move left and right to move them up and down by 1. If you just hit up twice, or keep hitting up until it doesn't change anymore, it'll buy as many as you possibly can. But we're gonna buy 13 rubber bands, like I was saying earlier. So now we'll check the toys again. We have 2 jacks. We got a can from the encounter we got into, but that doesn't matter. 2 jacks and 16 rubber bands. That's what you need, and a sparkler. You should have these 3 items before Space Boyfriend. If you do, then you're good to go. If you don't, you miss something, and you're probably in for a bad time. It's not the end of the world if you don't have enough things for Space Boyfriend. You're just gonna have to make up rubber band attacks with the normal attacks from the party, which is sometimes a little risky. But now we're gonna go back up, start the Space Boyfriend fight. As soon as you hit this cutscene, hold cancel to skip it. It's a pretty long cutscene, so you could skip the whole thing and go right into the fight. Now we actually have like an actual fight with strats. Omori, Jax, Aubrey, Pep Talk Kel. Kel also uses Jax. Hero uses a rubber band. Now the reason we do Pep Talk Kel, you can Pep Talk Kel or Omori, but the reason we're Pep Talking Kel is because we want to protect him sooner rather than later. That's a pretty bad first turn. We want Space Boyfriend to hit us. That's the ideal situation. So we'll use both our rubber bands, Pep Talk Kel. But the thing is, if Omori or Kel are pep talked and happy after 2 jacks, which slow the enemy's speed down. Both of them will be faster than Space Boyfriend. So as he hurts people, which we're not actually gonna do. All right, so turn 2. Omori's gonna rubber band again. Aubrey is gonna Aubrey is gonna pep talk Omori. Kel is gonna use a rubber band because he doesn't have anyone to heal. After the first turn, if Space Boyfriend attacks somebody, you're trying to heal them with Kel. And something new that I started doing, if he makes somebody sad, I started massaging them. He shouldn't kill someone. Oh, he actually wailed. So that's like a really good attack. If he wails before he's even angry, this is good stuff. But this is why we picked up the popcorn. So if he wails again, we're kind of in for a bad time. But next turn, you're still using rubber bands. After Omori and Kel are pep talked, Aubrey can start using rubber bands. If people have taken a hit, Kel has to heal them. He wailed and everybody got hit, so we're gonna have to use our popcorn, and that's our only multi-heal item that we have. So ideally, we don't want him to ever wail again, but we do want him to keep hitting us. So Omori uses his rubber band, and then we'll see if Space Boyfriend attacks. Nice. It's not even angry yet, which is crazy. Should be angry now. So same thing. Everybody uses rubber bands except Kel. One thing about these items, you want to make sure you look at what you're doing. So like this heals straight up 60. This heals 60%. 60% of 40 isn't going to be enough to fully heal him, I don't think. I'm just going to use it anyway. I tend to use donuts and then the bigger healing items. So it's actually 36. So if he happens to hit Kel this turn, it's going to be bad. Okay, he didn't die. We got lucky. He could have died there. We need to do a regular attack with Omori at some point. So with the 2 jacks and the 16 rubber bands, that is 1,300 damage, or not 1,300, it's like 900 or 850 damage. We need to do 1,350 to win. At some point, we're going to want to do a release with Omori, which will do 450 damage as long as he's happy. And we need to make up 50 damage at some point there, because the release of 450 plus the jacks and rubber bands is 1,300 damage, and Space Boyfriend has 1,350 health. So we're still using our stuff here. One attack from Omori is good enough because he gets an attack on his release turn as well. So he should, if he hits twice, do enough to do 50 extra damage. How many rubber bands do we have left? We have 5. So we still need a full rubber band turn. You also have to be careful. After the 6th turn, Space Boyfriend is going to end up being faster than everyone again. Let's try. So we have 2 rubber bands left. So if he happens to attack Kel on this turn, he's going to die, and there's nothing we can really do about it. Yeah, and he didn't do anything. So literally, this is the most free Space Boyfriend of all time. So we're not going to kill on this release, but the 2 extra rubber bands should kill Space Boyfriend. This fight's actually very frustrating and a big reset point of the run, because it's really dependent on Space Boyfriend attacking. So you look how much slower the text is if you don't finish on a follow-up. This is literally insane. Probably about 5 seconds on most bosses, the difference in time. But that's the strat. So turn 1, Jax with Omori, pep talk Kel with Aubrey, Jax with Kel, and then rubber band with Hero. And then every other turn, you're going to use rubber bands You're gonna pep talk Omori the second turn and then use rubber bands with everybody else besides Kel. You're gonna try to heal, hopefully, whoever Space Friend. I do that a lot. Whoever Space Boyfriend hit. It was literally the most free Space Boyfriend I've ever seen. So normally you'd want to end on follow-up text, but with a fight like that, you're like, that's like one of the best fights you could probably have. He only didn't attack us one turn, I think. And one of the turns he wailed, so he did essentially 4 turns in one. Because you will probably go through a lot of fights with Space Boyfriend where he just never wails. But it's important that you use all of your rubber bands, because whatever rubber bands you somehow don't use for whatever reason in the fight is how short of damage you're going to be. And eventually, like I said, he's just going to be faster than you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the longer you drag the fight out past that point, the less safe it gets. So once it fades out, you get like your follow-up increased, and you start mashing except to grab this key. Make sure you grab the key. It's pretty easy to forget if you're not thinking about it. And we're gonna run all the way back down to Mary. This is kind of a lengthy little cutscene too, right after. He wants to show off Kel shows off his flexing or whatever, but what I do is I hold down in text, so I just start running as soon as I can. Makes it a little easier to not pay attention to. And you're gonna run down here to Shadow Basil. And chase Shadow Basil through the field. Sorry about the horns honking for whatever reason they're honking outside. It's kind of hard to miss Basil as long as you pay attention. You're just following old Shadow Basil. You're just following him wherever he goes. I don't know if you actually have to mash to get into this picture, but I do. You run up these long stairs. You pick up the only key in the run that you don't need, the F key. But luckily, when you pick up a key you don't need, it doesn't give you dialogue after this screen. When you pick up the correct key, it tells you how many keys you have left. So you talk to the music, run down, and then immediately start holding up again to get caught. Because you're going to get caught anyway, so just get caught as fast as possible. Then get ready to do the stab again. After this part, there's always a little bit of an input break, so it's kind of nice to just not pay attention. If you're quick with bathroom breaks, you could probably squeeze in one. I don't know. Who cares if you're willing to lose a couple seconds or whatever, but if your bathroom's super close, you could probably squeeze in a bathroom break on most of these changes between Headspace and real world. This next IRL section is pretty fun. Everybody loves sweeping. So any percent glitched, and we haven't done any glitches yet. What is this? You could do the skill swap glitch already if you really wanted to, but there's nothing you can do to actually like increase the fights, at least that we are aware of. There's nothing that we do that speeds up Space Boyfriend or anything else. That wouldn't be just completely negated by the fact that it's not free to do the swap glitch. You can waste more time setting up something that doesn't even work. So that's why we kind of just play it out the normal way. Right when you wake up, you want to go to the front door all the way down. And then as soon as the dialogue happens, I hold no. Because at some point you're gonna get a dialogue that it's gonna do like a spin around the room, and it'll show you from the back of Sunny. And it'll be like, "Do you want to go outside or open the door?" It'll say open the door, and then you don't. But if you're holding cancel, it'll just say no for you. You won't have to actually do anything. What would you like to do? Nothing. We're gonna go back to bed. This isn't secret ending, so we're gonna ignore our friends. Go all the way back up to bed. So when you wake up the second time, it'll be like, maybe you should do your chores. And then we're actually gonna listen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do our chores. Tells you to talk to the to-do list, which is on the table here. You'll equip the broom, and now we start the sweeping. Just try to do this as efficiently as possible. A thing to note on like screen transitions, you can actually start moving before the screen's completely loaded in. So as long as you're aware of where the dirt piles are, you can already be moving towards them on screen transitions. Save yourself like a half a second. Oops. I like to go to the right here because you have to do a lot more moving. And just the flow of the movement makes more sense to finish. Oops, not talk to the boxes. The flow of the movement makes more sense to finish on this dirt pile and then leave. So the way I'm doing the sweeping is the way, or like the pattern I like to do it in every time. I don't know if anybody's actually figured out like the most optimal sweeping path, but it can be super different from what anyone does. One person might be taking an extra step or two at some point, but nobody's doing something egregious. If you split on Space Boyfriend, like right after the victory screen, this segment takes about 8.5 minutes, or you'll be like 8:25-ish is usually what I'm around, without mashing. And then once you're done, it'll come up with that. The floor is finally clean. That's how you know you'll got all the piles. And then once that dialog comes up, you can hold. Hold for some dialogue. And then you'll hear like a thud, and then you'll hold up. You actually have dialogue, I don't believe, so you could just hold up. You're gonna wake up in the living room. Go to the spider web door. Now going up the stairs here is actually kind of important. So when you're walking up, you're gonna listen for a sound cue, and it's gonna be a scuttling that actually stops Sunny from moving. It's quite a ways up, but that's gonna be your first cue you're listening to. Should be soon. Okay, so the next hole, you see your hole on this hole here. The next the next hole that's right here, you don't want to get in line with it. You actually want to get close and then stop, because then you can avoid the feet. Next one, stop. And then this one's kind of tricky. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, stop. So the 5th spot on the side. Skipping those legs is actually a nice little time save for this segment, because if you get hit by the legs, not only does it stop you from moving, but OMORI also, or Sunny, I'm going to do that the entire run. I'll say their names back and forth. Sunny has like a little panic attack on the stairs about it. So it's nice to learn, and it's super easy to do. Like the first couple times you do it, just take your time going up the stairs. It actually has like a two-step window that you can stop before and not get hit by it. But once you make it to the top or whatever, once you're out there, you'll get into your second something fight. And just like the other one, I like to start each fight with holding down. This fight's a little different. I like to wait until the first dialogue, which is after the third turn. It tells you to calm down. So I just hold attack until the third one. So that was 2. 3. And I immediately hold cancel. So when the next dialogue scrolls through right here, we can just calm down. That's like my cue. And then we're gonna have to attack one more time. Hold cancel again, because there's gonna be more dialogue that teaches Sunny how to focus. And then we're gonna want to use focus, which is skill to the right. So fight down right X. And after you use focus, the fight's over. You just need to go back to bed. Easy peasy. You get to see Ghost Mary. Small input break again. This one's not quite as long. Yo, what's up, Jack? The input thing you showed me works like a charm. Yeah. Works like a charm. Third time in white space, you don't have to do anything. As soon as the shadow appears under the light bulb, you just, oops, bad movement. You go straight to the door and you can leave. This cutscene with your friends is a little lengthy. But there's no options to pick. Yeah, we were just doing some RNG manipulation, that's right. Make your way out. You get 750 clams. Every time you come back from white space for the first time, you always go see Mary. But this time all we're waiting for is Mary to walk back on the blanket. That's when you'll know this dialogue is over and you can start moving again. Just waiting. Oh, she doesn't walk back to the blanket, but after the fade out, then you can move. You go right back the way you came. You have the fight with these 4 sprout moles, but they're stronger than the ones from earlier. That doesn't mean they're hard. They just don't die as easy. So the strat for this fight's pretty simple. You're gonna attack the first one with Omori, the second one with Aubrey, the third one with Kel, and then Hero you're just going to attack, because it doesn't matter which one. So after I hit confirm, Kel is gonna attack first. We want to use his follow-up with Hero, because that's gonna hit all of the Sprout Moles at once. Aubrey and Omori should be able to kill the 2 Sprout Moles they attacked. I've seen it where Aubrey didn't do enough damage before. But between Kel and Hero and then the follow-up, they should be able to kill the third one. Then you just hold attack. If they hit you enough to get a follow-up, you could get the fast text, but I don't think it's actually worth it. I don't think it'll save you any time after the follow-up animation. We go to the left here. I don't know, I always just mash here. I'm not even sure if you have to mash to cut down the spider web. Now we go up into Firefly Forest. Kel and Aubrey do their normal, we're in a new place, let's bicker routine. The first thing you're gonna do is run straight up until you're on the second screen here. And go up and cut down this web to get these matches. You need these matches to get through any of it. The first way we come back and go to the right here. Important thing to note, these first 2 areas we're gonna go in, we can actually outrun these spiders. And hopefully you'll see what I mean. What we're going to do is come and talk to the candle and immediately go down into the right. Or, yeah, to your right. And all the way down, grab the piece, try to get out. There you go, see, you could skip it. So it actually probably saves like a second or 2 instead of waiting for it to actually grab you and then put you back down. This one I think is a little harder. Nice, we got both. It's not actually that big of a deal if you get caught. It just can save a little bit of time. I'm not even convinced that it saves like a ton of time on that second one. But on this third screen again back here, you're going to want to pick these fries up and put this track down. Even if you manage to save the popcorn from Space Boyfriend, I think you should still grab those fries. Fries are a really good multi-person healing item. This candle, you can't beat the spider on the way back, so I just grab the puzzle and try to get up as fast as possible so I can get grabbed as quickly as possible. Now, on the way back here, you're going to want to take the healing. That's the tofu. You're going to want to heal at Mary's Picnic, because you took damage from the Sprout Mole fight there. And come up and grab these cat ears. And at this point, you're going to want to do a menu. So we want to equip the cat ears we just picked up on Aubrey. That's the only thing we're equipping right now. So we're going to go to skills, straight into Omori, replace sad. I guess you don't really. This is so you would do this menu specifically with Omori if you were worried about being safe. You would want to put mock on Omori. Just well, actually no, we need it for. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need mock for the boss that's coming up before anything else. So ignore everything I said. You want to go into this menu and put mock over sad. But oh no, you don't. Never mind. I'm confusing myself. Sorry. What I would do is come in and replace bread slice with mock. That's it. I would leave everything else the same. And then you're going to come over to Kel and replace, just take flex out. That's all you need to do. That's going to set up our skill swapping glitch later to make it a little more convenient. And just make sure you're putting your pieces of track down as you go. And then once you put the third piece, you want to grab this present out of this watermelon up here. So sorry, that was confusing. We'll talk again. You were here, and first things first, you'll equip the cat ears on Aubrey. Then you'll go into the skills. You'll go into Omori, put mock over bread slice. And then you're going to put flex. You're going to take flex away from Kel. And the reason you're taking flex away from Kel is because that'll put run and gun, the skill he's going to get after the next boss, pending that he's still alive, into his empty spot. And it'll make the flow of the skill swapping glitch a little nicer. Sometimes I forget how I've been running the no major glitches category a lot, which requires some more menuing. Sometimes I forget kind of how free any percent glitched is or can be. Just don't forget also as you're running through to put the tracks down in the empty spots. As soon as he hops out, you could be holding right. We'll go into this cutscene. Important that if you forgot to heal at the other picnic, there is a second picnic here to heal. Convenient. If you were concerned about having enough healing for this, which as long as you pick up the fries, you really shouldn't. But if you wanted to be safe in the glitched run, this is for the glitched run only, you can actually go over to this mailbox, and I believe you can buy popcorn. You can. Or you could buy nachos, which is a single healing for 75. So you don't need all of this money that we currently have. You could also buy life jams if you were scared. So just in case you were worried about it, you can buy some extra healing there. We shouldn't need any. If Crawler goes the way it's supposed to, it'll only take 3 turns. But that's not the most likely thing in the world. We'll talk it out as we get here. This is the fight with King Crawler. So we have a strat here where we can get... we want to make Crawler angry, because when Crawler is angry, it makes King Crawler more likely to do a charge forward attack, which hits all 4 people. So every time Crawler is angry when it's his turn to act, he can charge forward, which is good. But we also raise his attack when we make him angry. So we have a setup here where we can actually get mock off on King Crawler before his first attack while he's angry. So you're gonna mock King Crawler with Omori. You're gonna use the present we picked up with Aubrey, and you're gonna use the sparkler. You're gonna use the present we picked up with Aubrey on King Crawler. You're gonna use the sparkler that we bought before Space Boyfriend on Omori, and then with Hero, you're just gonna defend, or you're gonna guard. So Aubrey will make him mad. Kel is still faster than King Crawler, and then making Omori happy makes Omori go before King Crawler. So that's what we want. We gotta charge forward, which is good. So what I'm gonna do now is with Omori, we're gonna use the fries we picked up. Aubrey is gonna pip talk Kel. Kel's gonna defend, and Hero's gonna defend. The only reason we really want Kel pep talked here is because after King Carnivore eats this sprout mole, he's gonna make himself happy. And when he's happy, he's actually, wow, this is perfect King Crawler. Literally perfect Space Boyfriend and King Crawler luck in a run that doesn't matter at all. So this is going to be the 3 turn. This is literally the exact perfect fight that you want. I wish I would have saved so we could actually do this where it wasn't perfect. If he didn't charge forward here, let's say he just did a single attack, we would only be at 8 energy. Yes, he started 3, he's charged forward. you don't have any more healing. Like we have no more healing. So if you didn't buy any, you're kind of, you might have like one thing left over. Tofu only heals 5. You might have one item left over. What you're really gonna have to start doing is defending with everybody. We're not actually gonna do it, but you're gonna want to heal with everybody and try to heal like Kel or Aubrey first with like cooks from Hero. It's kind of a mess if you're in this situation and he doesn't charge forward. So also, if he didn't charge forward, he would only have attacked a single person. So you would just heal that person with Hero's cook. But we don't have to worry about that. So we're gonna guard. So on the perfect setup like this, we're gonna attack with OMORI because we're about to do a release. We're gonna defend with Aubrey because she's still faster than King Crawler, and we're gonna turn in. And since OMORI's happy, we want to get the most damage we can out of our release. We need to make King Crawler angry, so we're gonna annoy it with Kel, and then Hero can just attack because it's not gonna get to his turn. It doesn't matter. So we make it angry and do release with OMORI. A single release in an advantageous attack, like one where you're hitting the enemy in a counter emotion, will do max release damage, and at this point it's 900 damage. And I think King Crawler only has 730, so it's like plenty of health. Also, ending on the release gives you the fast text. So we've actually had perfect boss RNG so far. In a run that didn't matter at all. The odds of actually getting 2 charges in a row for the first 2 turns on King Crawler is like 18%. So you shouldn't really expect it. But once you enter Sproutle Village, you make your way up here to the concert. Once Aubrey gives the Sprout Mole the tickets, you only have that Sprout Mole's tickets, or that Sprout Mole's dialogue, and then you'll be able to move like a second after. You can't move right away for some reason. In here, you'll want to go up to your seats in the front row. That's what the Sprout Mole was getting all excited about. He's like, you guys got front row tickets. We sure do, bud. Then you sit here and you watch the dialogue. I find this section personally annoying just because it's a lot of dialogue. I mean, at least I'm not mashing. Some people will mash here, but not really my cup of tea. It's hard mashing. So like when I say mashing, I don't just mean like haha mashing. Like you have to be able to manage 20 inputs a second, which is some pretty balls to the wall mashing. And then I'll bring it up. I'll keep bringing it up repeatedly through this video. By the time you watch this, if you're new to the community, we might have approved the use of turbo, which if you value your hands and the well-being of said hands, you'll either just not mash or use turbo. Your cue to start paying attention to this dialogue again is when the big lightning strikes right now. That's when I would start at least paying attention again. There's still a little bit of dialogue left, but it's easy to space out in some of these lengthier dialogues, and I always I give myself a mental cue that when it happens, I have to like start paying attention again. Especially if you're a bad streamer like me and can't read chat and play video games at the same time. You get distracted real easy. You're not a bad streamer. If that happens, it was a joke. I think you're great. I want to try something out before I say anything. There was like a recent strat. We've taken damage, obviously, during King Crawler. I want to see if the little scene down here will heal us. If not, we'll heal at Mary on the way back up. Can't do it yet. So we come all the way down. Plug back in. There's some more dialogue. Now you see that little like ooh-woo face above the treadmill. We're going to talk to it. Just cancel right out of it. I want to see if that heals us, because that would be faster. It did. Wow, okay. So yeah, you will come down here, heal here, because it's faster than healing at Mary's Picnic. Although, let's try something on the way up. So now all you do is plug that in, heal, run all the way back up. I want to see... Oh, she doesn't have an extra basket up here. I think if she had an extra basket on her Picnic, you could also heal there. But she only has the save and her food heal, which actually goes to like a fade out white screen and tells you that everybody's been healed. So it's a little slower. I would recommend just using that treadmill at the bottom. I was recently discovered that those little scenes they get and actually heal everybody. I kind of figured in my mind that it wouldn't heal if you didn't actually, you know, do anything. But you walk in, right to a dialogue, and Hero will leave. Take your seats. And then you hold forever until you're in the dungeon. Hopefully this has been informative so far. You almost kind of hope that like you get the worst RNG humanly possible so you can show everybody how to deal with bad situations, but hopefully at least me trying to talk out what a bad situation would be like has given you some clue. And at any point if you're watching this, feel free, and you have questions, either feel free to just post in the speedrunning Discord, which will be below in the description when this is on YouTube. It'll be below in the description, a link to the Discord, a link to my Twitch, a link to like my Twitter. You can ask me questions anywhere, or you can just post about them in the Discord. The community is extremely helpful. There's plenty of talented runners, not limited to myself, who are more than willing to help people learn how to run the game. There will also be like a separate links to like clipped videos below for specific glitches on how to do them, and then just overall settings. There's a few things at the beginning that you want to make sure you have toggled on before you do runs. But that'll all be clipped below. Do not worry. At least the music's boppy. You can like little jumble. I prefer holding in the button currently, even though mashing is faster, because I could take drinks almost any dialogue freely. Glitched, though, if you want to be competitive, if turbo doesn't exist and you want to be competitive, you're gonna have to mash or learn how to mash. But that's really up to you. You don't have to mash to get a good time. You do have to mash to get the best time. Or use turbo if that's available. So we're almost there. Once the music changes, that's kind of like when I make my mental note that I should pay attention again. So I'm gonna try and do something here. So as soon as this dialogue is over, you can move down and open the gate. It's not locked. You're familiar with the game, I hope you are. If you unlock the gate and immediately start moving right without really getting blocked at all, you can get to this door and open it without, ah gosh, we already screwed up. So we're gonna wait. Oh, we're blocking them. So let's see if we can actually get the movement right. So as long as you like get to the door when the sprout mole's right here, you can get past it without aggroing it. Come down this first ladder and run to the spikies here. So I'm also assuming that if you were to talk to the cooler that's in the top right corner of Mary's blanket, that would also heal you without the cutscene. This one I don't like running in front of. I kind of just let it go. Follow it. Oop, wrong way. Tag Kel for your throwing segments. Miss the ladder. That's common. Move better than me. Okay, so we're gonna run all the way down and around for another switch. And it's gonna lower spikes on the other side that we were just at. All the way down there. But instead of running around, it's actually faster to run up here and try and dodge the guards. And dodging the guards isn't super hard. If you wait until he's like right there, it didn't work. Luckily, if you get caught by these, usually first turn runs, but you're gonna run all the way across to the farthest one over, and that'll put you right at the same ladder to come down here again. It's hard to demonstrate where the timing is exactly while I'm talking it out, because it's based in like rhythm of me moving. So most of the time you can get the dodge pretty consistently if they're in the same spot when you start moving. I tried to do it on the fly and it didn't really work out, talking it out. But here we are. We're in Sweetheart's castle now. All that stands between us and glitches is a baked cake. So in any percent glitched, I like to just go straight. You want to go straight to the right and do the top right corner first where you bake the cake. It's important that you don't make two cakes though. If you screw up the first cake, if you actually screw it up, because if you pick up the wrong ingredients, you can actually put them back down or say no. What you can't fix is picking the wrong temperature, so be very careful of picking the wrong temperature. But if you screw the cake up, you have to do a second cake, and you have to finish the first one. So it's a huge time loss. So just be careful. You're gonna talk to this guy to start the cake. He's going to tell you what temperature to put the oven at first. What I like to do is talk to the oven and hold accept, because it won't pick anything right away, but it'll speed the text up a little bit. You want to go to 350? Hopefully you know the right way to do this. You pick up the flours and the eggs. And he says to pick up, what, salt and cheese? Which is the sugar and the stick of butter here. And then after this one, he's gonna tell you what to pick up next. I like to go down and grab the watermelon to the right. This watermelon's extremely important and you absolutely need it. This is the coconut for Kel, which teaches him Juice Me, which is like the whole key to skill swapping and beating the Sir Maxes in Sweetheart. Now you're just gonna grab all your stuff, combine it into the bowl, put it in the oven. As long as it doesn't look like a little toxic death cloud, it's golden brown. It's a great cake. After that dialogue, you're good. Grab these shiny frying pans for Hero. Quick menu, you're gonna put the coconut on Kel, and then frying pan on Hero, and then you're gonna tag Kel because you're about to do the swap glitch, which I will have a video demonstrating kind of exactly what it is. But what you're gonna want to do is try to do the swap glitch between Kel and Omori. There we go. To put Juice Me on Omori. This is Kel's skill menu. So that's how you know you'll do the thing right. You'll see Kel's skills with Omori. You're gonna put Juice Me on Omori, and then you're done with Omori for right now. Next, you're gonna try and do the swap glitch with Omori, or Aubrey. Wow, we nailed it on the first try. And she needs Juice Me. So now that you've done Juice Me to the two characters that don't have the skill, we need to set the rest of their skills up. So you need to back out, go into Aubrey, just click Juice Me, replace it with Pep Talk. Easy peasy. And then you're gonna go to Omori, put Sad Poem, replace Mock with Juice Me, or Guard. You don't really need either. You can replace whatever. If you happen to replace Guard with Mock, might be you kind of need to Guard for King Crawler. So I wouldn't replace Guard, but at this point you can. You just need to make sure that Kel also gets Juice Me, and I would just replace Run and Gun with Juice Me. Because that way, everybody's emotion skill is in the top slot, and everybody's Juice Me skill is in the bottom slot. Now, the reason we don't put Juice Me on Hero as well is because the glitch with targeting that we're about to talk about doesn't work with him. So we don't need to do it with him. But it's extremely important that you do this glitch, and that each character you give Juice Me not only has Juice Me, but also has their emotion skill back. So we need Sad Poem for Omori, and we need Pep Talk for Aubrey. Important. Very, very important. All right, so once you leave this area, you have your first fight with the first Sir Maximus, and we'll do it slowly and talk out the glitch. If you were super concerned about these fights, you can do the old Mock setup for these, which is Mock turn 1 with Omori, Pep Talk Kel this first fight, annoy the enemy with Kel, and then do whatever with Hero. That way you can lower the enemy's attack and make it safer. But optimally, with the Juice Me strats, you don't need to worry about emotions or anything, other than if it makes it sad. You probably want to either get rid of that emotion or make it angry. So now we're going to explain how the swap glitch works. So what you're going to do is, with the first character, Omori, use Sad Poem on the enemy and confirm it. You're going to cancel back to Omori, go to Juice Me, and you'll notice that Juice Me is now pointing at Sir Maximus. If you go to Juice Me without doing this, you can't target the enemy with it. That's why doing this glitch the way it is so important. So you'll use the emotion skill on the enemy, cancel back, use Juice Me. Emotion skill on the enemy, cancel, use Juice Me. Hero for Sir Max 1 is actually faster than Sir Max 1. So he doesn't really need to do anything. I just have him attack. But you'll see Juice Me does a ton of damage. None of these characters would come close to this damage limit. Important to note, that's actually perfect. So we're just gonna do it again. Emotion skill, Juice Me. Emotion skill, Juice Me. Well, actually, we could probably end with Aubrey, so we're just going to attack. Emotion skill, cancel, Juice Me. Hero can defend because he's probably gonna get hit. But so turn 1, Sir Maximus, you Juice Me with Kel, or Omori, Aubrey, and Kel. Turn 2, you want to Juice Me with Omori and Kel, and you might be able to win the fight on a follow-up with Aubrey. You could try doing charm strats with Hero, but for some reason it never seems to work for me. Eventually we'll get his... We're gonna get his spin attack here. So I did the follow-up with Aubrey. We'll see if she could do enough to win. She probably won't. Nice. Just attack with everybody. He's dead. Do the follow-up with. Didn't even matter. The important thing to know here is that if people die, it's not the end of the world. If people like if Kel or Aubrey or Hero die in every single Surmax fight, you're probably going to be in it for a bad time when you get to Sweetheart. The important thing about these Surmax fights is to feel out when you're gonna unleash their ultimate attack. I think every single Surmax's ultimate attack comes out at like 80% damage. So the order of the corners you're gonna go in, you start with the top right and then you're gonna go clockwise to the corners. That's the way I kind of like doing it. That way you don't have to actually tag Kel out here. You could just, you tag Kel to do the swap glitch, you leave him in to do the orchestrating. Important to note that after the first corner, you get the first Surmax. After the second corner, you don't get a Surmax. So that's also why I like doing this corner better. Because there's not a quick way of healing like there is in the other three corners. So fun fact about this, you don't actually have to do anything. You don't have to do a single thing. Yo, what's up, Calculus Kid? If you wanted to get a perfect score, I'm pretty sure all you have to do is just make sure that all of them are awake at the end of it. Yep, that's it. So if you were concerned about healing, which we really don't have a ton of healing right now, you can go, I wouldn't really care too much about it, but if you're in serious attempts for best times, but you can run down here and grab fries. We'll grab them for demonstration and tutorial safety's sake. So like I said, after you do the second corner, there won't actually be a Surmax to fight. So we'll go to the bottom left corner. You're gonna want to switch to OMORI at some point before you can even wait until you're literally in this room all the way up here by the key. We're only coming in here for this key. Don't forget it. Like I said, it's pretty easy to forget keys sometimes, but once you do it a few times, it'll just be like ingrained in your brain. Muscle memory has set in so much that I actually forgot why I was running here one time, but ran far enough to see the key. So important while you're going down to the next part to make a slight detour into here, so you could talk to this glowing tea set next to her chair, next to Sweetheart's chair. It's a full heal, and then tag Hero, not Kel, because Hero is needed for the next corner. Watch out for that enemy. Watch out for the enemy. Again, most of these guards, at this point, your party has kind of picked up enough speed where they're just faster. Or you have a really high chance to run from essentially everything. And you go all the way up to the top in this corner to start. Talk to the Sprout Mole at the desk. Then we have to go around and gather the non-pink Sprout Moles. So I like to mash until we hit yes on the Sprout Mole. And then I just hold the button, because I can't be bothered. But like I said, if you hold it, it's definitely faster, or it's definitely slower than just mashing for that tiny bit of dialogue. I don't think it... So I would always start by grabbing the Sprout Moles on the left side of the room, and the ones in this ladder, or in this line here, You want to get everything below like the turn at the, I'll say, we'll point it out specifically. You want to come down and get these lower ones first. But whether or not you feel like grabbing this particular one that's right here first is really up to you. It's kind of funny. They get like all stacked up on top of each other. But whether you want to get this one first is really up to you. You can immediately grab this one, run down, grab this one, and then all the ones below, and then grab this one on the way up. Up to you. It doesn't really make a difference. You're running past it twice regardless. I don't actually know what happens if you try to grab the wrong one. But you could easily just say no if you talk to the wrong one. You'll get the splendid text when you know you did it right. That's all we needed. No need to pick up any extra items in here that we might in other categories. Now we're going to run all the way back out and we're going to have our fight with Sir Max 2. So the Sir Maxes, obviously, they get stronger. If you're familiar with the game, they get stronger as you go up. Sir Max 2 is better than 1 and 3 is better than 2. But we're not doing anything different. We're using the same skills. We're just going to do the Juice Me strats. So Sad Poem, Juice Me. Pep Talk, Juice Me. Annoy, Juice Me. Then he can literally do whatever. I would Charm with Hero turn 1 to bait as many attacks. If Sir Max 2 attacks twice or spins, you can't Charm the whole thing. Spinning is just a shit attack, as in you can't really do anything about it. So if you were being safe and he spun turn 1, I would probably use either Omori or Kel's turn to heal. It doesn't really matter who, because the Juice Me is going to be the same regardless. So I'm just going to do it with Kel, though. We did pick up the safety fries, so we'll use them. I'm going to Charm again to hopefully protect us. If you were a little more risky, you could just go with Juice Me with all 3 of them again. Made himself sad. So at this point, you're going to want to change. You're going to want to change this emotion. And Kel goes before Omori and Aubrey. So it makes more sense to make it angry. So at this point, if you were concerned, you can actually... We got rid of Mach, but I would probably keep Mach on instead of Guard at this point. You could make it angry and mock it with Omori and actually not suffer the consequences of its attack raise from being angry. We're actually going to start attacking. Unfortunately, once he does his ultimate attack, he gets another attack. There's really nothing you can do about it. If you have life gems to spare and you're concerned, see if he lives. Nope. Unfortunately, Kel didn't get that experience. It's really not the end of the world. If he happens to die on the next one, maybe we'll be a little concerned. It's not run killing for him to be dead in these 2 fights. It just kind of makes Sweetheart scarier. In this run, once we're past Sweetheart, the rest of the run is free, regardless of anything that's happened. But until we're up to Sweetheart, there's some silly run-ending things. So in this room, if you're worried again about healing, which if you're just trying to be safe, you could come up, grab all 3 of these items. I would grab them for Sweetheart anyway, regardless of if you were like worried about it or not. Sweetheart really shouldn't go more than like 5 turns in an ideal fight. But you never know. So it doesn't hurt having extra healing, and most of it isn't super far out of the way. But in this room, you need to tag Aubrey and talk to the Sprout Mold that's here. You're looking for the dialogue if you're paying attention. Aubrey will say, okay, I'll give it a shot. And that's when you can go and talk to this statue to break it. But make sure when you're in this room, whatever you grab, if you're going to grab the healing on the left or whatever, that you heal in this bed as well, because that's your free heal of the room before Sir Max 3. And as we're all aware, Sir Max 3 is pretty annoying. We're just doing the controller for tutorial's sake. I'm not going to leave this up forever. I actually kind of don't like it that much in normal display. But what's up, Mr. Noda? When you're running down, just pick a side. Don't run straight down the middle or you'll run right into that guy. So Sir Max 3, a little scarier than the other two, for sure. You can actually just end the run straight up if you're unlucky. But same thing, juice me strats. And then hero, charm, turn 1. You're not going to put Sir Max 3 into his ultimate attack on turn 1. So you might as well try to bait some of the attacks out onto hero. But look at the juice me damage, it's crazy, man. So this is scary. If he flexes, I'm gonna massage. Actually, let's just charm. Charm again. I don't think... we'll see what happens. All right, cool. So he flexed, his attack was increased until he attacks again. He used it on hero, who cares? Oh, well, here comes his. This might be bad for hero. He lives! He shouldn't get another attack though, because he already attacked. Ah! We probably should have went for the follow-up with the OMORI. Hero dying is kind of inconsequential, though, as long as we kill Sir Max here. Yeah, he's dead. Yo, thanks. The beard's getting pretty long. But you know, when you're doing any percent glitched, and once you're at the juice me strats, really the most, I don't want to say optimal, but the best way to go about it is just to straight up YOLO every fight. And if somebody dies, they die. Like, straight up Dolph Lundgren. If he dies, or whatever. And just really go for it, because that's how you're going to save the most time. And like I said, you need to just, people are probably going to die, and you just kind of have to get over it. Because, like, again, all we need to do is get through Sweetheart with a decent time, and the rest of the run is free. But we just have to get there. But before we can do Sweetheart, we have to go through the hedge maze here. If you're familiar or not. Before you can actually get the puzzles to the, or the answers to the hedge maze password, you have to go find out that there is a password and get it wrong. So once we can move again, we're going to move up to the top right. We should be able to beat that one up here. You should be able to get underneath the gate or the little archway and before. And then you're going to want to use that top Sweetheart statue to trigger this whole getting shocked scene. And that teaches Kel how to destroy the statues that he has to aim or whatever. And then you're just doing this, trying to match the arrows up on the statues. Don't ask me about the arrow pattern because I don't understand it even a little bit. Sometimes they'll be on the right and go immediately to the left. Sometimes they'll be on the right, go to the middle and back to the right. I literally do not understand it even a little. One thing you're looking for on these password sprout moles is that once you get to the point, I think besides this one, they'll be like lean in closer is how the dialogue starts. And that's when you know the password is coming. And then, oh, shoot. After that dialogue is when after that dialogue, you can move again. This guy doesn't say anything. He kind of just says the password at some point and then you can run. I kind of try to look for the in quotes word. Donut is that guy's password. I look for the donut in quotes, and that's when I know it's going to be done. But you could also just hold the direction to start moving for the dialogue. And that way you don't have to think about it. This is a waffle. You don't need that. Also, the other 3 sprout moles, other than the bottom right one, all have like a yes or an option to pick. So I usually mash for the other 3. This watermelon up here, we have to run kind of past it. I would grab because it's a cheese wheel, which is a group healing item. At this point, I don't know if I just said this. I was thinking it in my head, whether I said it out loud or not. But at this point, individual healing items have completely lost like all of their value. But anything that's group healing is still super valuable. Because at the very least, we need it for Sweetheart, and you will want to heal when you get to Humphrey, so I wasn't paying attention there. You're almost never going to beat this mole anyway. Important to remember that you talk to this tea party before you talk to the statue for your full heal. And just as soon as you accept to go into the scene, hold cancel to immediately leave it as soon as possible. Put in the password. Sweet. Jelly. I picked the wrong thing, sorry. That's alright, we're gonna have to heal again on the inside. No big deal. Sorry. Sweet jelly-filled donut is the password. Sweet jelly filled donut. For some reason, I thought I was on the last one already and picked the one where donut is. That's okay. There's plenty of places to heal along the way, just a little slower. You can heal at any jar of pickles in here as long as you're Omori or not Kel. And now, if you were super concerned, you could buy... If you were trying to live, you could buy more life gems. We still have 3, so we're not going to buy any. You could buy poetry books if you wanted to maybe protect yourself against Sweetheart. But the way this strat works, having any extra sad items doesn't really help at all. Like, literally at all. So I'm not going to buy anything. But just in case you wanted to buy some stuff, you could buy some life jams here if you were concerned. But after this fight, you won't need life jams ever again. So, Sweetheart fight, let's give it a go. May remember, this is a boss cutscene, so you can actually skip it by holding cancel. So first turn, we're gonna juice me with everybody. And then with Hero, we're gonna Rain Cloud and hope she doesn't kill anyone. Great first turn. Anytime Hero gets hit, like we're ecstatic, like we love it. Now, the only thing we're really looking out for is that she doesn't do insult turn 2. If she does insult on this turn, you're in for a really bad time. But you're gonna go and continue to do juice me strats. And Hero can heal. So the one thing you really don't want her to do is that. Literally on command. She's still gonna be manic. But this is just scary because she's gonna do a buttload of damage to anybody who's angry, and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's see if we can at least bait an attack away. If she maces, it's just nothing you can do. Whatever. We're not going to even bother trying to bring Hero back because it just doesn't matter. At this point, if you get the insult turn 2, you're really just trying to live. That's all you want. She still has a lot of health, so we're just going to keep doing Juice Me. And hoping we can maybe... Oh, she can't actually, Ha! Well, that doesn't even matter. We can't, Juice Me with Kel anymore because Hero's dead. I didn't even think about that. So after Kel's turn, it just accepts his inputs. It doesn't let you cancel back, unfortunately for us. All right, well, hopefully we're just trying to live. Stop! Here, we can at least protect Omori. We can make him happy with Kel's follow-up. Hey, we won. So if you get the bad RNG where she insults you turn 2, it's really not the end of the world. But if you are doing a glitched run and you've made it to this point, congratulations, you've basically finished the run already. The rest of it is 100% free. There's just a lot of RNG that could swing your run in any direction a little bit, but the odds of losing your run at this point are almost 0. Got a nice little cutscene here with Sweetheart and Space Boyfriend, Captain Space Boy. So that's about as bad as that Sweetheart fight can even go. Not as bad, you could lose and die. But at least if you do happen to lose the fight and die, you can just restart it. If you're on a good, I mean, if you're an experienced speedrunner and you're on a good pace and you die to Sweetheart, your run is dead. But that's really your call. But in an ideal world, you could 3-turn Sweetheart if she maces turn 1 and doesn't kill anyone. And then maces turn 2 and still doesn't kill anybody, but you attack with Omori. It's a gamble. It's a straight gamble. She maces a second time and actually hits everybody. So to start this scene, you get your follow-ups. You need to go down first. And then you'll see Shadow Basil. And then you go up to the hole. And then on turn 3... Or on turn 2, I mean, if you gamble, attack, and hope she maces and hits everybody, Omori can actually do a release and kill her if Kel does Juice Me before it. But in your real world, you can still 3-turn. You do Juice Me with everybody 2 turns in a row. You do Juice Me with Kel, Omori, and Aubrey 2 turns in a row. Turn 1, you Rain Cloud with Hero, just like we did. Turn 2, you could just heal with them. It doesn't matter. Turn 3, you would want to stab with Omori. That's why we leave it there as backup. You would want to adjust regular attack with Aubrey. And you would want to Juice Me one more time with Kel, and Hero can do whatever. He can charm if he's still alive. If Hero lives through that fight, it's like it's magical. Because you really should be using Hero as just like a straight meat shield as much as possible. But if Kel juices me on the third turn, Omori stabs, Aubrey should be able to kill Sweetheart with her regular attack and a follow-up. That would be like the best, like the second best case scenario, because the two turn does exist, and it is a real thing that could happen. But generally, she's gonna be at least ecstatic already, and as you go up in the increasing steps of becoming happier, your hit rate goes way down. And for her, when she's manic, she only has a 65% chance to hit. So it's actually a decent chance. There's a 1 in 3 chance that she won't hit somebody, which isn't like a super unreasonable number. But, you know, that was only in the ideal world. What you saw is about as bad as the fight can go with you not just straight up dying. I don't know what I gotta do to get through that fight. Like, literally every PB attempt I have also gets a turn 2 insult. Like, literally every single one. Every single time. But we made it through the fight, and that's what was important. The important thing is to not panic if you're if you're concerned with finishing the run or not. If you are a gambler, you can use your Rain Cloud on turn 2 with somebody else, but you're also just risking her. It's not, I don't know. I like doing it turn 1. It seems to make the most sense. Doing dishes, literally just sitting here mashing is the best way to get through it. You have an 11% chance to break any of these dishes. Each dish has an 11% chance to break, I guess is a better way of saying it. I'm not going to kill myself mashing. I don't care that much. Not for this, at least. So I would say getting through this without breaking a plate is actually pretty good RNG. Like, oh, obviously it's good RNG. See, we broke a dish. It only wastes a tiny bit of time, probably like a 1.5 seconds per dish. I mean, if you break 1 dish, that's pretty normal. 1 to 2 dishes isn't out of the realm. If you break more than 2, it's pretty bad. Very big bowl. After you wash the last dish, you make your way up to the bathroom to wash yourself off. And then you go into like your something realm, your phobia realm. Just hold down. I don't do anything else but hold down. Nothing else to do. Important thing to note, once you get down to the bottom, you go into your something fight. You want to be holding... Once the face comes up, that's when I do it. Or once you stop it, now you can hold it. You want to be holding accept, because you actually can get a turn in with the fear of drowning before the fight even fully loads. Like, you'll just see the first thing in the dialogue box that you can see is Sunny took 40 damage or something like that. And he took 40 damage. Attack. On the third one, I hold cancel because you're going to get dialogue and you want to calm down. And then you'll get the dialogue where Sunny learns to persist. And then you menu down to persist. And then you could just hold the button. And it'll just keep doing the persist attack. So 3 attacks, calm down, keep holding cancel, because then you can start doing the persists. And then you get a little cutscene here. This cutscene's actually pretty long. You could probably make a bathroom trip out of this part too. If you're quick, always be quick. Maybe not this one, but the transition back to white space. I would say just if you're really concerned about it, time it out on your own and make sure that you could do it. So when you come to bed a second time, there's a possibility to have a ghost in the bed. You can see it as soon as you enter the room. If you do, just go back out and enter again. That'll make the ghost go away. This scene's pretty long. That's what I meant. It'll start you on the already on the outside of white space. You don't get an allowance this time. You want to make your way up to the top of the screen. And like I said, we're basically completely free at this point. We just need to like play the game. Because now the targeting glitch gets ramped up from an 11 all the way to like a 100. Make our way to deeper well. On the screen transition, I like to hold down and then accept, because we're going to get dialogue on the way down on this ladder. Just be prepared for it. Just small little time saves, as long as you know when the dialogues are happening and you're ready and you can be prepared for it. Just always remember to do your direction first before you hold the button down. And it doesn't matter if you hold circle or cancel or accept. So on our way up here, we want to actually buy our water bottle early. Normally in New Game Plus, no major glitches, you would be going to Ghost Party to buy a bunch of items and stuff, so our money really matters. In Glitched, money doesn't really mean anything at this point. We know we need a water bottle, but instead of going out of the way at all, we could just buy it from this guy here. So might as well buy it on your way up. You get caught in this cutscene. After the cutscene, we need to make our way to Ghost Party still, because even though there's nothing to buy anymore, like normally in no major glitches, we would be buying confetti, an air horn, stuff to prepare us for the bosses later. We don't need any of that, but what we do need, there is a letter key in Ghost Party that we need. And it's a boppin' song, so we just go here anyway. No, I'm kidding. It is a boppin' song, but we do need to be here. Bleep bop bop boop bop bop. Sorry, I won't ruin it. It really is a good song, though. So all we need to do is grab our key, and we can leave. There's nothing that Party Jash sells that's even worth looking at. It's just emotion-changing items. Before we go into Last Resort, stop at the mailbox. Rotten milk. Just hit up twice, buy 20. You only need 16 rotten milks, but just hitting up twice on the D-pad is a lot easier than hitting up and like menuing 5 times. It just hit twice. You can even buy 30. It doesn't matter. You can buy literally as many as you want. They're only $2. But the rotten milk is the key to the rest of these glitches. So instead of using Juice Me with the targeting glitch, we're now just going to start using rotten milk. Be careful as soon as you walk past that gator guy. Buy 99 rotten milks. No. But as soon as you walk past that first gator guy on the right, he will aggro you, and they stay aggroed to you until you transition screens. As long as you stay in this screen, they will try to follow you for like 200,000 frames or something, it was figured out, which is just ridiculous. But rotten milks, that's the key. We're gonna do the juice. It's called the targeting glitch. We do it with Juice Me because that's all we have available. We don't have access to rotten milk until now, but with the rotten milk, we'll use the targeting glitch on the enemies, and it'll do 50% of their health. 2. Forgot where I was going. We're going to 2 to get the cool key card. The rotten milk will do 50% of any enemy's health that we hit it with. Normally, you shouldn't even be able to use rotten milk on an enemy, but with the targeting glitch, we can. And it makes pretty much every boss free. After you get the cool key card, back in the elevator to the 5th floor. Nothing else to do. Make your way over to Burley. This targeting glitch thing seems pretty cool. It is cool, and it's a really cool glitch to find. Some people don't enjoy the run with just throwing milk on things, but I think each run has its place, hence why I want to make a guide for this and no major glitches. Once you're talking to Burley the first time and you see the green text that she wants a water bottle, you can start mashing just for a little bit, because you'll go right back into the dialogue since we already have the water bottle. Just use the elevator, just mash. There's literally only one option, is to go to the floor you need to go to or cancel. But yes, the Rotten Milk version of the targeting glitch pretty much takes away all of the RNG of the game. Like, there's a little bit of RNG on Humphrey, but pretty much every other fight is going to go exactly the same every single time. So what this category comes down to at this point is your menuing and your movement. And if turbo is not allowed, you're mashing if you choose to do it. It'll fade out before you can start moving again, so once the fade to black, you'll be able to start moving. And the elevator. This elevator ride's unusually long. Not unusual, it happens every time, but it's a super long elevator. One thing, so now that we're going to switch up how the targeting glitch works, it's important, and this is something that I'm not super good at in an actual run, is to not get ahead of yourself, because you're changing the way the inputs work. You're going to use your emotion skill, but when you back out to the character, you're going to go to the snack menu and go to Rotten Milk. Now, once you do Rotten Milk with one time, anytime you cancel out and go to the snack menu with the next character, it'll already be on the Rotten Milk. The only time this will ever change is if somebody uses another snack, which you won't even consider doing until Humphrey. The Jossum fight's a little unique in the fact that there's 3 enemies. Emotion skill, and I already screwed it up. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I did. So emotion skill, back to Omori, Rotten Milk on the first gator. Emotion skill, back to Aubrey, Rotten Milk on Jossum. Emotion skill, Rotten Milk, second gator. Hero can guard. The way we do it like this is so that we kill both gators before Aubrey's turn. They don't do an attack the first turn, and if you kill them in the same order, if you kill them in the same order, the gators will never get a chance to attack. I don't think they're faster than Aubrey, but if you're concerned about levels at all, like if Aubrey happened to die a bunch or Kel died a bunch and you're here, sometimes it could get a little dicey. But easy peasy, you just milk. And you think it's hard, this is even easier. The strat's a little easier for Pluto though, because we don't need to do the Rotten Milk. We don't need to do Rotten Milk with Aubrey at all. Kel is going to go before Pluto, and even if Kel happens to die on the phase change, it doesn't necessarily matter. She could just attack. You could just attack. Kel will go first. It's gonna put Pluto into kind of like a phase zoom with phase change or peck zoom. And then he's gonna hit somebody, or he might not attack. He hit Aubrey. Who cares? Doesn't matter at all. He can't physically kill Omori on one turn. And Kel will go before him. So it doesn't really matter. Easy peasy. Milk glitch. It's too strong. Nose itches. Also remember, I didn't talk about it, you can skip the text before the Jossum fight. So you walk in, you could skip that scene, and then after the Jossum fight, immediately hold cancel again. You can skip the scene before Pluto comes out. It's easy to forget the Pluto one, especially. Luckily, after the fight, you get a key card, a VIP key card that makes the elevators all faster. All we need to do now is leave. Nothing else to do here. Make sure when you're in this elevator that you go to floor 1. And just hold down and text, so I don't have to pay attention. I'll just start running as soon as I can. If you were mashing, it doesn't really matter. You can just hold down and mash. Although a lot of people, to get to the mashing speed, it requires mash with 2 hands, so you can't really pre-move unless you're ready for it. But most of the time when there's a cutscene like this or any sort of dialogue, there's like a camera pan or like a fade in and out that'll happen before you can run again. This one happens to have a fade in and out, so you'll know when it's time to go. Do nothing, you're just running. Back to the taxi, we just want to go back to Deep Well. Just keep talking to that toll. So now on this screen, you change to hero for the first toll, and then I actually change back to Omori immediately after. But hero can get through the first toll a little easier, a little faster. Get some sweetheart dialogue. Again, just pre-moving and holding my mash or my scroll button. Oh, my nose is so itchy, sorry. You're gonna wanna talk to this guy, hold cancel, and then start mashing accept. We need to be at Omori at the end, and money doesn't matter at all, so we'll just pay full price for these tolls. Forgot to hit up. Oops. Forgot about his texture. Because you need to grab this key, so, and you could only grab the keys as Omori, so it makes more sense to just change back to him after the first toll. If you do the first toll with Omori, there's all this like wheel spinning bullshit and all bunch of stuff. Just as a heads up, if you're at 3 keys left, when you grab the S key there, you're in good shape. You get 2 keys from Humphrey. And a singular key we grab on the way back to the end of the game, basically. Oh god, my nose itches so bad. My allergies are nuts! Bloop, 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 bloop. More dialogue. This one has a fade to black after it's over, so not much to pay attention to. Just look for the screen transition. At this point, you're pretty much in the home stretch. We do Humphrey, and then we have the black space stuff, and we're almost out of here. First teleporter you hold up. You're actually going to hold up in most of them. This is the only one that you're going to go through this teleporter up here and hold. I actually hold right because it's easier to... You can't keep going right, but you need to move to the right, if that makes sense. Hold up. Swim. Doing your best to just kind of move fluidly through here. Some of the longer diagonals, it's kind of annoying. So literally only one of the teleporters you do, the third one, you don't hold up. Well, luckily, once you get to here, you can run again. I don't know why you can't run in the other place. It's annoying. Talk to Humphrey right in this spot right here. This is where he'll open his mouth and the tongue bridge inside will let us in. We'll be right here. You do have to walk in, so you can pre-move. This is one where it won't give you any indicator if you're not paying attention. Just mashing because I like to sometimes. Just messing around, really. So he'll tell you left, right, up, around, doesn't matter, whatever, forward, and then it'll come back down to, or it'll do the fade, and then we can get on the raft. So once the middle one talks there about left, right, whatever, that's when I start mashing accept to get on the raft ASAP. So first path makes the most sense to go to the left. All of the puzzles can be done as OMORI, and there's no changing. So it just makes the most sense to go here first. Foof, foof, foof. Gotta disarm the bomb, do the 3 puzzles. Sorry, let me just adjust real quick. This one's easy. You do blue, green, red, white. Blue, green, red, white. Blue, green, red, white. Don't forget. Luckily, this puzzle doesn't make us run all the way through to figure out what it is. That would be very annoying. Bum. This one's easy. We want to hit the middle buttons on the sides. So middle, 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 middle. But you have to start with the left one. You have to hit it in that order. So left, middle, bottom, middle, right, middle, top, middle. This one's the easiest of them all. Answer is just boom. I always think that it would be kind of funny if it was random every time. Like, and there was just some random bout of RNG here, or like it was figure outable, but it wasn't always the same. Like, I thought that would be kind of funny. But that's it for the left side. You get our Robo Heart cutscene. It'll pan back over to us when we can move again. Got a little smiley Humphrey hatch. Then I like to go up next. You missed the sweetheart fight. You did. We want to switch to Aubrey. If you want to spam some rat jams just in memoriam, you can. I'll get it. There it is. So we just kind of want to bait its movement. This enemy is interesting because you can basically make it move wherever you want it to go. So let's mess around with it a little bit. So my thought process is if it's anywhere near the start, like that's too close still, I just well, it moved all the way out. But if it's after you can make it chase you up here by blocking off the middle path. See, if it can't get to you, we're just messing around with it. If it can't get to you, if it can't get the direct way, it'll take the long way all the way around. So when I'm coming up, I see that it's right there. That's actually like the worst position it could be in. I would actually reset its spot. I really don't think it would ever be there. So I'd actually come up and then make it chase me so I can make it in there. I'm doing all right. How are you doing, bud? I'm gonna come down here, smack the Humphrey. Don't forget, that's the whole point. He's in a good spot to not worry about. This one's not in a good spot, so we kind of have to debate it. So don't rush these enemies. Like, you can make them move wherever you want to help increase your chances to dodge them. If you're worried about healing, this is a whole chicken, which is a full team healing item. There's one more rat scientist. As long as you stay close to the left edge, you shouldn't ever really run into it. It would have to be in a pretty ridiculous position for it to come after you, at least. It could be in the middle, which isn't that unheard of, but most of the time it's not really that close. And as long as you hug the left side of the cages, you're pretty good. This room, however, is pretty annoying. For some reason, this guy won't, like, instead of coming for you, he stays on the level he's at. Like, he'll go down, but won't come up. This one will aggro you from the top, usually. I'm messing it up because I was having the other one chase me. Let's have the other one go back. Let's see if I can make it go back to its spot. It's just gonna be here forever now? That's annoying. Literally, look at this little shitter. I have no idea where it is. For some reason, they don't like to come on level plane with you, so dodging them can be kind of annoying. It seems easier to make them come level with you when you make them come down. If you're making them come up to you, it seems like they don't really want to do that, and I don't know why. They're programmed extremely strange. So those two dodges are actually pretty difficult if they're in weird spots. Go up here to start the springy cat chase. Immediately holding right so you can be moving. It's not as tight to get there as it might seem, but if you are a little fumbly with your movement, you could easily get caught there. Just make sure you don't hit any of the ones that aren't in your way. That room is pretty easy once you're past the first one. Already holding up. And we're done with the top room. Easy. Easy fight every time. Once it pans, you can come back. Now we make our way to the right. One more tunnel. This one we're gonna need to change to OMORI. This snot bubble's pretty annoying. You just kind of move, hope it doesn't move into you. Make sure you talk to the Humphreys first here. If you forget to talk to them, you can't go grab the other Humphreys. Switch to OMORI. Use his slice, then switch to Kel. Grab this Humphrey. This Humphrey's very easy to forget if you don't just grab it right away. Do the cork. The cork Humphrey. Grab them on your way. Now this part, I try to see where that snot bubble is. It's actually in a really good spot. If it's not blocking the pathway, I try to go down there right away. If it was blocking the pathway, I'll go into this lab first. Try to roll the RNG dice again to see if I can get it where it's not in the way. If you come through a second time and it is in the way, you just kind of have to take your lumps and take the fight. They're almost always first turn escapes. It's just the issue is if it blocks the path, you're going to get into 2 fights with it, or else you have to try and wait it out, but that's not worth it. This sprout slime's annoying. We actually had really fortunate luck. Your best case scenario is to only get 1 fight with it, but you have to make sure that it doesn't block you. So I'm just gonna, if you could get through without getting a fight, I always just take the fight on the way down. Because if you try to get like weird and fancy with it, you'll end up getting into a fight with it. This slime is also really annoying. Just try to bait it. Ah, that was my bad. We actually had it in a good spot. I'd say if you could get through here without any encounters, it's like extremely lucky. But also, if you could get through here without any encounters, without wasting a ton of time to make it happen, is extremely lucky. Because you can do all sorts of debating with the one on that left side there that kind of just blocks everything. Make sure you actually grab the 2 Humphreys that you go in there to free. But like 1 encounter is good, 2 encounters is okay. Any more than that, and it kind of sucks, but it just takes some practice. After you run this game maybe like 2 or 3 times, you start to recognize like enemy positions. So if you hold up right away on this on this screen, you get hit with the food immediately. So if you transition and just wait like a half a second, you shouldn't get hit by anything. Or you could get hit by 2 things like me, because I'm really good at the game. There's a little awkwardness with that specific stretch of like border. Like usually the dark green liquid you can't raft on, but it's not like loaded in correctly there. So on the log flume tunnel here, you go left and just hold down. Left, down. It doesn't matter which side you pick first, I just usually go to the left. I go left to right. You can't talk to any of these Humphreys yet on your way down. You have to talk to this one first. And then grab this guy on your way. Because after you come down a second time, this Humphrey is the most out of your way. So just grab it now. It's only a single... I don't even know if it's technically... I think it's like 1 space out of the way. Whereas if you got it on your second go, it would be like 4 or 5 spaces out of the way. Now we'll go down the log flume again and take the right side. And then just hold left. Right, left. You also don't have to just rush. You always can see where the next Humphreys are. Like it's not some sort of mystery guessing game. You can see them. And then you just want to grab all the Humphreys on your way back. And that's it for the Humphrey sides. Now we go into our boss fights. The last 2 boss fights of the run, back to back. So we're getting there. We're getting there. This is the longest of the 3 cutscenes, I believe. I've been meaning to like take a screenshot of this specific guy. I want to ask, I want to @ OMOCat on Twitter and be like, do you guys like Hylix? Literally looks like Wayne, the main character, one of the main characters in Hylix. Okay. As soon as you go through the 3rd little hatch there, Humphrey's like, what's the commotion? And then you go talk to Humphrey and give him that slime key that we just picked up. And then you can just keep mashing because we could just go straight down. Now when you get down here, you don't need to heal or anything. You can just run straight up into the slime girls fight. Because it's, even though Aubrey, I think, only has 1 health, it's like impossible for the slime girls to kill Kel and Aubrey on the same turn, and we only need 1 turn to win. Targeting glitch too strong. They're gonna attack first no matter what, so it doesn't really matter if they kill either Kel or Aubrey, because you get a free full heal between Slime Girls and Humphrey. But you want to just load up the target glitch with the rotten milk with all 3 of them. Because it could get a little dicey. Although they can't kill OMORI in in a single turn, so. Rotten milk. Oops. And Hero can just attack. No, Aubrey's dead. Doesn't matter. She doesn't get any experience, but she wasn't. It doesn't really matter. None of that matters anymore. We win. It's actually not the end of the world to have somebody die here. It's one less person to level up. Just make sure you're holding the cancel button after the slime girl, before and after the slime girls fight, because you have a scene to skip. Switch over to Aubrey to smack the Humphreys. And then once you smack the third one, hold to skip again. So you can actually skip 2 cutscenes. So we're gonna load up the Rotten Milk glitch with all 3. And this time we're going to heal turn 1 with Hero. So we're gonna phase change before... I guess really what I should have done was charmed Hero turn 1. Yeah, because he does that. Luckily, Kel already used his milk. It's not a big deal. Ideally, you just want Humphrey to either attack OMORI or Hero. But getting through this fight with Kel and Aubrey both alive seems pretty unlikely. It's a 50% chance. He could hit Aubrey right now. Oh, he didn't attack. So it's over on OMORI's attack. Because ideally Humphrey is 2 turns. Freedom! Get to the uvula, you can just hold attack down. You just need to hit him. So I guess ideally, your best way through is to charm with Hero and hope that Hero dies. But after you've beaten Humphrey, congrats. You were super done after Sweetheart, but now you are completely done with any fights. We just gotta kind of hustle it out to the end of the game. You got about 21 minutes and between 40 and 50 seconds. If you're good with your movement. There's the 2 keys, don't forget them. I have my movement prepped. Bawang. So after you grab the W key, should say you have 1 key left, you know you're in good shape. That is accurate. We have 1 key left, and that's what we're gonna do next. So instead of going to that hole, we're actually gonna leave through the bottom here. And take a portal that's all the way down here, all the way back to the last resort. Because it's faster than taking that water portal and listening to all the dialogue while swimming. We're gonna take Pluto. Make sure you're not mashing for this because the first option is not where we need to go. We want to go to the vast forest. Now to grab the last key, we need to go to the right here. Kind of like earlier when we were running through the vast forest, but we want to go up at this fork this time. Ah! So lots of little like nooks and things you can get stuck in. We're gonna go all the way up the ladder here. So you could technically get this key as soon as OMORI is no longer afraid of heights, but it doesn't really make sense to come back here and get it until now. And then after you get the key, it'll say 0 keys left. Make sure you're mashing because it'll go right into the hangman thing, but it doesn't auto cancel out. And then once you cancel out of that, you get a little cutscene, little input break. We're so close. And that is where we will head next, to Basil's house. There is a long pause here, so don't get like thrown off when it doesn't load right away. We just have a few more dodges. These are the last 3 enemy dodges. Trying to debate the movement a little bit. Now you get stopped at every flower garden. You could just mash if you wanted to. I prefer to just, as soon as I stop moving, just hold the button down. You won't have to change directions like immediately after, so you could just keep holding the direction. So you could, yeah, every time you change directions, you can just hold the text scroll, whichever you prefer. Circle or X or accept or cancel. Now we're just gonna run all the way down, but we don't have to get past Mary's blanket this time. You just run straight down. Eventually you will run into that area where ye old Sproutmole was, like to enter into Basil's little area. So you just got to kind of pay attention for when you come up on that port. And it is faster to go to the right. Even though the footprints tell you to go to the left, it's technically a step shorter if you go to the right. We got a little falling time. This part's pretty straightforward. Just walk up, cut the webs. And they make it just annoying enough where you have to like move a tiny bit. Or else you'll run into like a tree or something. Now we get to go to black space. Don't mind me stretching. Stretching for a little bit. Ugh. Always good to get up and stretch whenever you get a chance. This is black space. We have to go through 8 doors before we can progress through the story door. I believe I posted pictures of what the fastest doors would be. But truthfully, like the first 7 doors you would go to of the 8 are all the closest doors that you would go to. Like they're not, like they're the ones you can see essentially from the blanket. And then there's a handful of ones you can go to for the 8th door that are either within a single step of each other or like one step more than another. Like it's not, they're all the same amount of steps basically. Grab this key and you want to go up here. That's the only thing really noteworthy, like the path to the keys and then where to go when you get the keys. There's one thing you really want to do. You go down until this curtain, go right. Keep going right to the hand. You want to try and get the hand to notice you so it'll move a few spaces over. Like I said, this order really doesn't matter as long as you go to the ones that are closest to you. This one's super easy. Don't let the path confuse you. All you need to do is take a single step to the right and run straight down. And then run to the right. Get the hand to notice you. A lot of these rooms are like deceptive. Like you think you need to do more than you have to, but this room, all you have to do is run on the complete right side of the road. Run straight down. Grab the key and run to the left. Run up towards the middle of the street to get the hand to notice you. It should be the side-scrolling one, the first one. The fifth door. Just try to follow this general path. Oops. See, if you're not holding the fast text, it's kind of an issue. Go up and grab this key. Move his spot down so the hand notices you. If you walk up to it from the top, it won't actually notice you. And you'll have to walk the whole way. This is the Muo room. As soon as you grab the key and it says you have the key, you wait like a half second and then you just do the stab. Instead of traumatizing yourself like I did. Just gotta watch out for the little shadow people in here. They can block you. Wasn't holding the button down. That was my bad. So in this room, you don't, to get to the next screen, you don't actually have to walk all the way out here. You can just walk back and forth or up and down or whatever, and eventually it'll fade to black, but it's not any faster or shorter to do so, so you might as well just keep your movement consistent. Now in this next part, this is the way I grab the watermelons. Oops. Somebody might have a better way of doing it, but the way this works is it ends on, you just want to make sure you grab your last, oh gosh, get out of the way, Shadow Basil. You want to make sure you grab your last melon at the top or bottom of like the column, so you could kind of tell this is the last one, the beach one. After you do the beach one, the red door will spawn. Oh god. And you're in the home stretch. There's really almost nothing left to do. Listen to the sad piano and make your way up to the top. Get to pick up the crown here. I just mash a little bit. You don't have to mash, I was just messing around. You can hold up and then hold either cancel or accept. You do have to go up and like click on the basil and the something though. So I mash until he cuts him out. You still just want to hold up in whatever dialogue scroller you want to use. Because eventually that black mass behind you will turn into a something, and you just want to get captured by it as fast as possible. So you might as well just be moving up. After you get caught, you just want to hold in the, you get into like a fight with the stranger, which is Shadow Basil. You just want to make sure you're attacking. There's nothing other to do. There's nothing else to do. You just attack. So, I mean, if you're just holding accept this whole time. Yo, what's up, Sidekey? Uncanny timing with the emote. But you're just gonna hold down. Or hold attack, I mean. Eventually, the stranger will just end it. Like right now. And then you just have to run upwards. You don't even have to hold anything down, just up right now. No text for a little bit. Sunny has like a complete and total meltdown, I guess, understandably. This part always sounds super cool in my speakers because I have a sub hooked up to my speakers as well, so like the bass and the rumbling sounds super cool subbing through it. I don't know how super cool my neighbor thinks it is, but I think it's super cool. You really don't have to hold anything in until this like transition. Like I would hold stuff in now. There's about to be some dialogue and a little bit of dialogue from Basil. But after this upcoming dialogue from Basil, that's it. We just gotta stroll to the end. Omori, Omori, wake up. There's light coming from the ceiling. Sure thing, buddy. So after that, you're done. No more dialogue. You're not done like pushing inputs or anything. You'll have to click on a bed and then actually do the input to call time. But for now, you got about 2 minutes of just walking. The excruciating stretch to the end. Are we gonna PB or are we just gonna miss it? Although at this point, you would probably know if you were gonna PB or not. You shouldn't have too many variances in your times after Humphrey. But you never know. Sometimes those enemies on the way to the C key, or is it the C key? I don't remember what the last key is. I think it's a C key. Sometimes those enemies are in like really weird spots and you'll get into a fight and that's just like a 5-second time loss. 5-6-second time loss no matter what. So, you know, things happen. You run into a Shadow Basil in black space a few times. You lose a couple seconds. Bumping never feels like it loses a lot of time, but if you keep running into trees and keep running into like Shadow Basils or not going in the, like taking an extra step or two past the door, those half seconds start adding up. It's pretty easy to lose. It's pretty easy to lose 8 seconds on this run or on this like part of the run and not even realize why. But it's pretty on rails, so it's understandably difficult to pay attention to sometimes. I will admit that. Like at this point, I'm like, please just end the run, please. let me out. Go to bed. Go to bed. All right, so once he gets in bed, we have to move to our bed. And all that's left is the final stab in time. Which is once you see the sun kind of go across Sunny's face, there's 12 seconds to that point. So you can do this stab pretty much as soon as Sunny gets out of bed and turns and faces the screen. And you're done. If you made it this far, you've beaten an OMORI Any Glitched run. So kudos to you. But seriously, this was a fun guide to make. I enjoy doing OMORI content and trying to help out as much as I can for new people who are thinking of picking up the run, but maybe intimidated by the fact that we don't have... Although we do have a pretty detailed guide, or not detailed, but we do have a good guide at this point that's at least more current than what we used to have. But it's always nice to have a video or some kind to accompany it to just show off what some of the things actually look like. But yeah, if you watch this, you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord, Twitter. I'll have the OMORI Speedrun Discord linked with the video, so you can go and ask questions in the Discord. Like I was saying earlier, there's plenty of people who are more than willing to help. And I am always happy to answer questions, whether it be through Discord DM or Twitter DM or anything. Does not matter to me. You could come into my stream and say it. Who cares? I'll answer them. I'll answer anything. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the guide. If there's any sort of OMORI content that you're interested in, you can let me know down below, and I'll think about how I can get it to you. But I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.